Okay. Well, sorry about that last video, just cut off for no reason. But anyways, we're reaching the 30 minutes mark anyways. So, yeah. As I was saying, Billy, I'm disappointed in you, Billy. You shouldn't have tried to kill me. I mean, seriously. Now I'm confused. I'm just supposed to run past him, right? Billy, no! Billy, no! Oh. Morphogenic chambers. I'm guessing is here. Is that you, Billy? Turn off the valves, so I'm guessing go here. I'm helping you, Billy. You're suffering. I need to help you. It's the only way, Billy. So I am truly sorry. Of course he's mad. He obviously knows I'm trying to kill him. Billy, no! Billy? Billy, no. Billy, no. Bad Billy. I think closing the door on a ghost would actually do anything. Billy, no. Go away, Billy. I'm just trying to help you, Billy. Billy, stop it. I'm trying to help you. My God, this is a long stairway. What the hell? Holy crap. Billy, no! Oh. So is he dead? Billy, are you dead? Billy? Billy, you dead. Answer me, goddammit. Nope, I can still hear him. Billy, no! Billy? Bullshit! How did I live? Billy? No! That Billy! Oh shit. The file. Get the file. Wait. Get out. Oh, come on. No, you're so close. I swear, if this game ends with him not getting out of this place, I will be pissed because all I did this entire game is to get out of this place. And if I don't fucking get out of this place, I am going to be pissed. I am going to be ripping mad. You better let me out of this goddamn place. You hear me? Why is this part taking so much memory? It's only been like 8 minutes and it's already like 200 megabytes. What the fuck? Oh, come the fuck on!
You have become the host. Jesus God, what is that thing?
You deserve it, asshole! Oh, thank the living lords of hell. The game is over. Okay. Well, that was a long and tedious game, let me tell you that. Oh, I am glad that it is over. Well, I thank all of you for watching this playthrough, or Scarethrough. Not that it was very scary at the end of the game, but nonetheless, it's a horror game. And let me tell you that this game was really good at the beginning. I mean, really good. It was very atmospheric. It was very unknown. And then after the first hour and a half of this game, it became, here's an invincible dude. You can't kill him, so sneak around him mechanic. And that's what you're going to be doing for the rest of the fucking game. It is awful. It is one of the worst mechanics you can ever put into the game. It is so restricting. You can't do anything, and all you can do is run. How is that a fun game mechanic? I don't understand. Like, I also have Amnesia Machine of the Pig, and let me tell you, if that game has this stupid sneaking mechanic in it, I will just rage quit and not play it. I swear to God. But anyways, as you probably already noticed, or know, after that, I will be playing Amnesia next. So, yeah, I really hope that it remains atmospheric and scary. Not, here's a dude they can't kill, sneak around him. That's just dumb. Okay, I do not like that type of gameplay. I really don't. Okay, I dragged myself through Outlast because, you know what? The story was meh. But it was an interesting enough story for me to go through it. So, thank you for watching this playthrough. And if you guys want to listen to more of my thoughts on this game, stick around. If not, then thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time for another playthrough. Probably Amnesia. So I'll see you then. Okay. So if you're still here listening, you probably want to hear my opinion on this game in more detail. So let's talk about the main things, huh? The graphics. Is the graphics of this game good? I would say yes. It fits the game very well. But then again, most of the time, the game is too dark to even tell if it's good graphics or not. So, I don't know. It's a really hard thing to judge in a horror game, its graphics, because most of the time it's very dark. You can't really tell the textures. You can't really tell the environmental detail or anything like that. But Outlast did a pretty decent job with its graphics because, you know, even though there's nothing I can tell that's good about it, I can't tell anything that's bad about it either. And yeah, let's put it as that. So the environment fits in with the graphics too. I think the environment of Outlast is very well done at the beginning, probably hour and a half to 2 hours of the game. After that, the gameplay kind of detracts from the environment of the game because it was so annoying, and all you focus really is on the guy who you're trying to avoid. So you have a really atmospheric game, but then you put in a gameplay mechanic to where all you focus on is the guy that you're trying to avoid and ignore everything else. So what's the point of designing a good level if that's what you're going to make your players or gamers focus on for that entire sequence? Sure, this room is filled with like corpses and blood and sound effects that could be really scary, but why would you pay attention to any of that when there's a giant dude that's walking around that you're trying to avoid? So yeah, I think the gameplay really detracts from the environmental effects of the game. So sad. It's really sad. Let's talk about the sound. Voice acting is pretty good. I liked it. Nothing was really bad about it. You didn't really hear the main character talk too much. So I don't know. But all the other voice acting is minuscule at most. Very few lines in this game. So I don't know. Voice acting is okay when I hear it, but it's nothing to be right home about, you know? Okay, sound effects. Well, the sound effects, like I said, it's really good, except for one thing, the music. During this game, the music really detracts from everything else, because the music doesn't fit in with the game, you know? I hear this very ominous music that just plays throughout the game. It's supposed to enhance the fear effect, I guess, or the horror effects of the game, but I think it majorly distracts from the game more than anything else. Because for me, personally, this is my personal opinion, okay? Maybe you guys are different, but me personally, when I play an atmospheric game, I don't like to hear music, period. Like, absolutely no music. Because I think, for me, okay, music detracts from the game. Because whenever I hear an orchestral sound or a musical note in the background, I keep thinking in the back of my head, there's a giant orchestra behind me playing this music. Seriously, every time a battle music goes off, or like this type of music where it's a horror, I can keep hearing a violinist, a bass, and everything else behind me playing the goddamn instruments, and that really detracts me from the game. I don't know, that's just me. Okay, that bothers me in every game. Like, if the game gives me the option to turn down music, I usually turn it down very low so that it doesn't matter at all. Like, so it's just really low and it doesn't like bother me in any way, or I just turn it off, But other than the music, the sound effects of this game is pretty good. I would say one thing though, it's a bit too much. What I mean by that is sometimes in this very empty room, you hear noises for no reason. Like, sure, it's an insane asylum and all that, but you don't have to make it like so noisy all the time. Like, especially during the tunnel sections, you hear like women wailing in the distance, like kids running in the distance, like noises like somebody banging on pot, jumping up and down on like glass. Like, why? Like, who is this woman in the distance wailing at me? Like, how can I hear her? Like, who is this guy banging pots and pans and hitting his head against metal pipes? Like, how can I hear him? This place is really big. So all these noise and sound effects, I don't know. Like, I'm on the fence about that. Like, it also detracts from the game. It seriously does. It doesn't really enhance the horror of the game in any way, because it doesn't really fit the game. Like, why is there a woman wailing in the distance? I don't understand. Like, I'm in this sewer system, and yet I hear a woman, like, ghostly wail? That doesn't make sense at all. So why is that there? Like, that really bothers me during that part of the game. It's like, okay, why is this even happening? And then on other parts of the game, you're in a completely, like, empty area, but then you hear noises like people dropping iron pipes or hitting wood or something like that in the distance, and I'm like, really? I can hear that loud? Like, I'm okay with it like once in a while, but not like constantly every minute of the game you have to make like scary sound effects, So I don't know, I'm on the fence about the sound effects of this game, the atmospheric sound effects. It's I shouldn't say atmospheric sound effects, I think I should say like horror sound effects. The atmospheric sound effect is pretty good. Like the lightning, the rain, the wind, the machinery that are around you that makes sense, because like washing machines or giant mixers or generators, those are really good sound effects to have because, well, they're right next to you. Like, I just passed generator, so it would make sense if I still hear the generator's noise, a couple of doors down. So that makes sense to me. So all the things that make sense, I call it atmospheric effects. All that doesn't make sense, I call it horror sound effects. So I'm on the fence about the sound effects in total about this game. It's pretty odd. So let's talk about the story. Well, what is there to talk about? What story? Like, I didn't read any of your notes, so even if I didn't read any of your notes, let me summarize the story for you. You're a reporter. Okay, you got a mysterious note from somebody, and from this asylum. You then go to investigate because you hear bad things about this asylum beforehand, and you're like, okay, this news that I'm about to report, they actually shut down this asylum once and for all. You go into the asylum, you find that everybody is dead. Well, most of everybody is dead, and you're like, oh shit, maybe I should have done this. Let's try to get out. And then later on in the game, a little bit later, you find out that this asylum was using the inmates as experiments. So this is why they became what they are, these mutated things. Well, then you find out the person who sent you the message was this priest guy, who basically is just crazy batshit insane, and all he wants is to live eternally by burning himself alive on a cross, basically. That's what happened. So it's really weird. It's really weird about the story. There's not much to it, okay? It's just like a Nazi type story where this guy, a scientist, experimented on the inmates and tried to find like the superhuman gene, that he can use so that people can actually become, superhuman soldiers, I guess. So, but he made about one mistake, I think, is that he tried his experiments on a guy named Billy, which supposedly his research assistant or something. But then the Billy became an apparition or a ghost and killed basically everybody in the entire estates, except for the people who have already mutated, and the professor himself. So, the professor basically calls in help, which is these military men who arrive on the scene, and they jam all communication because they don't want this leaking out to the public, because the professor have finally found a way to basically alter the gene, but he can't get out of the lab because Billy is basically not allowing anybody to leave. So, when you find the professor, he basically tells you to go kill Billy, and you do, and then he kills you. Yay! You know, and then he finds out that, well, Billy, instead of dying when his physical body dies, he went into your body and possessed you as his new host or vessel. And then once the professor kills me or you, I guess Billy pops back out and kill them all. That's what it sounds like. And really, that's the story of the game. Is that a good story? Not really. Is it a bland story? Yeah, definitely bland. Because you don't get to find out anything more than what I just told you. And when I can summarize a story in, a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes, then the story is not very complex or good. So, overall, I think the story is a bit boring. A bit, okay? I wish there was a lot more to the story. I wish you find out a lot more about the situation. Why did Billy kill everybody? How is the professor alive, other than the fact that Billy loves him for some reason, even though he killed all of his guards? Like, why didn't the professor leave the lab? If Billy loves him, he's not going to kill the professor if he tries to leave. So why didn't he leave the lab? It doesn't make sense. There's so many questions left unanswered, so I don't know. The story is way too boring for me in this type of game. Alright, so anyways, let's get to the biggest gripe for me about this game, and that is the gameplay. The first 2 hours of the game is absolutely phenomenal, because you're just a new person in this new environment trying to explore, and then things are just starts out pretty good. You're just trying to sneak into this asylum quietly and probably take a couple of footages and leave. So you find out a couple of things. You see to this entertainment room, nothing is really much wrong with it. Then, couple of jump scares here and there, which is really great, by the way. I love jump scares, but and then you see couple of blood spots, like blood dripping from the ceiling. It's like, oh shit, what is going on? Okay, and then basically the game became really scary really fast, and I like that. I like that about horror games. Really, games should be scary when they're called horror games, right? So the atmosphere of the first 2 hours is good, even though in the first 2 hours you do have this mechanic of sneak around this dude that you can't kill and turn on a couple of valves to turn back on the power, and that's it. But the thing is, that's the first time you did it, so it's not as bad. It's still scary because it's the first time you did it. Now here's where the game went completely wrong. The game throws that mechanic at you way too much, to where they just give you an enemy that you can't kill and that you have to avoid, and that mechanic sucks, especially when they throw it at you every 5 minutes. Literally, like, you just got past one sequence of sneaking around somebody. 5 minutes later, here's another sequence of sneaking around somebody. Like, what the hell? Like, what the hell were they thinking when they did that? I don't understand. It's not a fun gameplay mechanic. It's not even fucking scary. And that's another point. Like, after the first 2 hours of game, where's all the fucking jump scares? Like, there were zero. Well, I should say zero. Let me remember all the moment that was jump scary for me. After the first 2 hours. Let me put it this way. The first 2 hours, there's probably 12 jump scares. Probably maybe a little bit less. That actually scared me, okay? Jump scares scared me, okay? Those are the things that actually scared me. So, after the first 2 hours, I can probably definitively say that there are about five jump scares for the rest of the game after the first 2 hours. Like, what the fuck happened? What were they thinking in replacing jump scares and atmospheric, creepiness with sneaking around a dude that you can't kill? Why did they decide that was a good idea? I have no fucking clue, because it completely destroys the entire horror aspect of the game, because sneaking around a guy that you can't kill is not very scary. It's literally not scary for me. Like, it's just absolutely annoying. So, the game went completely downhill after the first 2 hours of the game. It's not scary anymore. It became repetitive, boring, and just overall lame. I don't know what went wrong with their minds when they think that sneaking around a character that you can't kill is a scary thing. Okay? It may be scary for some of you, but for the majority of us, probably not. I would definitely say sneaking around something is not scary for the majority of the people out there. I mean, come on, you do that in every other game. Like, seriously. Every game that has a stealth mechanic, you probably already did that. And it's really boring. You know, when you can't fight back. So, the gameplay completely drags down the rest of the game. And sadly, for a horror game, I think, personally, I would prefer it if the horror game has no combat. If it's focused on just complete 100% exploration and just playing and jump scares. That's it. That's all I want my horror game to be. And not like jump scares as in like every 2 seconds you have to make a jump scare. No. Not like that. Jump scares have to be placed strategically, you know? So I should say good jump scares. That, I think, would make the game much better than what they actually did. Well, overall the entire game, what are the good parts about this game? What can I definitively say is the good part about Outlast? I would say that the first 2 hours of the game is phenomenal. Okay? But, well, before we get to that, the first 2 hours is absolutely wonderful about the game. The atmosphere is amazing. Okay? I love the atmosphere of this game. The music, even though it detracts from the game, I think is still pretty good. Because it's high quality music, definitely. And I actually think that they did a very well job with the music, even though I would prefer it if they give me a separate sound option so I can turn off the music, personally. So that's the good things about this game. What are the bad things about this game? Like, I can definitively say is either bad or boring. The story is actually boring and bad, surprisingly, you know, about a horror game. Not really. Most horror games like this just has a really bad story anyways. The gameplay mechanics, actually the gameplay overall after the first 2 hours are really bad. Because, like I already said, you know, it detracts from the atmosphere, it detracts from the creepiness of the game, and it's just repetitive. And really, that's it. That's all there is bad about this game. So, if you think about it, there's more good than bad, but since gameplay is such a major part of this game, and it turns out to be very boring and just sad in every respect, I can't really much give this game a really high score. I just can't. Like, how can I give a horror game a high score when it failed to do the very thing that the title depicts? Well, or the genre depicts. It scared me. Sure, it scared me the first 2 hours of the game, but what about the last 3.5 hours of the game? Like, what happened to that? It didn't scare me at all. Like, come on. What the hell? What kind of horror game doesn't scare you for the rest of the game? You know? It doesn't make sense. So, on a scale of 0... Well, I don't think I have ever given a game 0 before, but on a scale of 1, let's just go with 1, to 10, what would I give Outlast? For my personal score, this is completely my opinion on this game, okay? I think Outlast gets a 5 out of 10 from me, because the only reason why it got a 5, because the majority of the game is just repetitive bullshit and it's so boring. The atmosphere is good, but the gameplay completely detracts from that, and I didn't get to pay attention to the atmosphere at all, because all I focused on was not getting killed by some invincible asshole. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry that Outlast was such a bad game for me, but that's my opinion on the game. I probably think that most other people who play this game were probably going to give it like an 8 or a 9. It's like, really? Sure, you know, like, if that's your opinion, that's your opinion. That's what all reviews are, is a person's opinion. However, I try to give you my best explanation of why I give something a score that I give it. And from all of you here, I hope you can understand why I give this game a 5 out of 10 for my personal score. Okay? So that's that. I thank you for listening to that review, basically, about the game. I hope it helps you in determining if you want to buy the game or not. Let me just remind you that if you have my type of personality, that you don't get scared very easily, or that you get used to things very easily, or that you don't like repetition, then know that you're only probably going to find enjoyment out of this game for the first 2 hours of the game. After that, most likely you are going to find this game very repetitive and very boring. So just a heads up about that. So thank you for listening to this review segment of Outlast. And I thank you for watching the entire playthrough if you have. Or if you're just tuning into this part, I thank you for watching this part anyways. So if you like my content, do subscribe, because I do try to put out content regularly. So thank you for watching. And I will see you guys on the next playthrough, and it's probably going to be Amnesia if you're watching this on the day that it's posted. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.